Thank you, Chair. Thank you. I've prioritised cycle funding in 3 successive TfL business plans. This will help us increase protected space for cycling. Transport for London is currently conducting a comprehensive London-wide audit of cycling infrastructure, including details of protected cycle lanes on London streets. This database, which will be launched in 2019, will provide an accurate and up-to-date figure for the total length of protected cycle lanes in London, including those not on cycle superhighway routes. Working with boroughs, we've already delivered 44 kilometres of additional protected space, almost doubling what I inherited just 2.5 years ago. That's 44 kilometres in 2.5 years, not 8 years, like the previous mayor. By 2020, we hope to have another 56 kilometres more, which will be either completed or under construction. The protected space we've already built includes completing the second phases of the east-west and north-south cycle superhighways, meaning people can now cycle away from traffic between Elephant and Castle and King's Cross and Tower Hill, Parliament Square, Lancaster Gate 5, Buckingham Palace. It includes new routes we've delivered in partnership with boroughs, such as green lanes in Enfield and Lea Bridge Road in Waltham Forest, and it includes protected space created through junction overhauls, such as Westminster Bridge South and around the former Stratford Gyratory. Earlier this week, we launched the Cycling Action Plan in Enfield, one of our mini Holland boroughs that is doing fantastic work to enable more people to cycle by creating protected space for cycling on its streets. The plan sets out the actions that TfL and boroughs are taking together with other partners to make cycling easier and more appealing for everyone. The centrepiece of the new Cycle Action Plan is a delivery plan for a comprehensive high-quality cycle network right across the city that will work with London boroughs to build, and a pipeline of new routes stretching into the future. This includes new protected routes between Brentford and Olympia, Cycle Superhighway 9, Greenwich and Tower Bridge and Cycle Superhighway 4, with construction to start next summer. It also includes new protected routes between Tottenham Hale and Camden and Hackney and the Isle of Dogs, which, subject to consultation, will start construction next year also. The plan also includes funding for a range of measures to break down the barriers to cycling that some communities in London still face.
Thank you, Mr Mayor, and I've read your cycling action plan cover to cover. Really pleased to see that it is a people-focused plan for enabling everyday cycling, and also the emphasis on working with the boroughs. That's a useful step forward. I was also really pleased to see that you're rolling out the zebra crossings at bus stop bypasses. It was something I asked you to trial, and I'm really glad to see it in there. And would you please give my congratulations to Will Norman, your Cycling and Walking Commissioner. Now, my question was, so I take it from your answer that you are going to meet your pledge to triple. Can I just check, did I hear that that includes the segregated tracks that were part of the Enfield Mini Holland scheme?
They'll include all the segregated cycling routes, so, whether it's superhighway, quietways, Central London Grid, Mini Hollands or other schemes.
Yeah, so it is physically protected, but it does include some of the stuff that came out of the Mini Holland programme.
Yeah, so can I...
Do you want to get back to me on that?
Right, I can tell you the definition. Is that what you're after?
I'm going to move on to talk about your quality criteria, so
Okay.
I'll do that.
Just to reassure the Assembly Chair, there is a definition of what protected space is, and so that should reassure you, and I'll write you.
Okay, thank you very much. So I get that you're rebranding, you're bringing all your cycle provision in under one scheme. So just looking at the quality criteria for these routes, you've got 6 quality criteria in focus box 6, and they say that you should only mix people cycling with motorised traffic where there are fewer than 500 vehicles an hour at peak. Now, this busts the DFT's national guidance and what the London Cycling Campaign want. They both say the limit should be around 200 vehicles an hour unless you're providing physical protection so children and people who are new to cycling are safe. So I'm just wondering why this higher volume has been chosen, and will you bring it in line with the DFT guidance before the final quality criteria are published? So you're saying 500 vehicles an hour is okay without physical protection. The DFT suggests that it's 200 vehicles an hour and then you need physical protection.
Chair, can I suggest if it helps, because the quality criteria needs to be quality criteria for the Walking and Cycling Commissioner to meet with Caroline, who's to discuss these issues. What I would want to do is have a quality criteria that doesn't satisfy the concerns that cyclists like you and others have. So would that be okay? Then
that would be great. Very much appreciate meeting with him. And then it says in the plan that your quality criteria and the updated cycle design standards are going to be published next year. Can you give me a month?
I can't give you
season?
a month. No, I can't even do that, Chair.
Should we take it as December 2019?
I will this afternoon let you know.
If you could, because if it's as late as December next year,
Understood.
you've only got a few months left to deliver on it.
And I do take the spirit within your suggestion.
Yeah.
So can I go back to you this afternoon?
Okay, and finally, really glad to see CS9 is still there in your thing, but it looks like it's being consulted on again. It's already been consulted on once. Will you guarantee we can see spades in the ground in 2019, or do you think it might be held up
Well,
again?
can I just say, Chair, this is a good example of the council trying their best to help us. So Hammersmith, Fulham and Hounslow are working with us. Will Norman spent a lot of time there. There's had to be rerouting to address some of the concerns raised previously. Both boroughs are keen to explore how to improve cycling, make it easy for pedestrians and cyclists. We want to go as soon as we can. We've got to make sure we take boroughs with us. You'll know, Chair, as a former councillor, the importance of doing so with Chiswick. And so we hope to take the borough with us. If we can, we're going to get shovels in ground next year.
That's really reassuring. You're working well with the boroughs on that. It is so important. I was cycling there recently with someone who's new to cycling, and the lack of protected space. She was really frightened, and you know it is really needed. But I'm out of time, so thank you.
Understood.
Well, thank you for that. Just for clarification, did I hear you say that there will be rerouting of CS9?
There's potential rerouting of CS9, which is what the discussions with the council are about.
Okay, thank you.